Well, the next hugely significant thing that happens for you is the Wrestling Summit, which is in Tokyo. It's a joint show between the WWF, All Japan, and New Japan, and this is a big deal. So again, this is 1990. For fans who don't follow Japanese wrestling, picture Prime WCW and Prime WWF joining forces for a show in Madison Square Garden. That's kind of what happened here.
Yeah, but it's in
Except
Japan.
yeah, except now it's New Japan, All Japan, and the WWF. So pretty crazy. And I mean, all the biggest stars from Japan and guys like you and Jake and Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Warrior, Andre and Savage, and more are on this card. So really kind of significant.
Well,
Uh,
if you know, now I had been a heel,
yep.
but in Japan, I was Stan Hansen's tag team partner. Uh, and because I went to the WWF is why I left Japan, because I went to Japan for Giant Baba, which was All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Hmm.
And so, it's kind of like I didn't know how they were going to respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because and I'll be honest, it's like, now here I am. I'm supposed to be a heel, and the fans are cheering for me.
And yeah, you're a heel here now in the WWF, but like they're excited to see you. They haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Did you
Um,
have any video on that?
the video exists of it. I didn't bring it. I didn't put any in this. I should have put the end of the match. But Ted, this event draws over 50,000 fans to the Egg Dome there in Tokyo. And it's a live gate of 2.1 million, which at the time ranked among the top 10 largest paid crowds in wrestling history. So, really, really huge event you guys are doing here.
Yeah.
But that being said, apparently, when you bring three different promoters together, sometimes they don't always get along. Who would have thought that? I know. And Meltzer had this to say about the event. The three companies, and mainly All Japan and the WWF, argued about nearly everything from matchups and media access to the petty and ridiculous, like where the ring would be located on the baseball diamond and whether or not the announcers would make 5-minute calls to let the crowd know how much time elapsed. So, Ted, I know that you were focused on wrestling, but do you remember the drama between promoters at this time?
You know what? I never witnessed any of that. You
That's
know,
probably a good thing.
yeah, probably was.
And keep your nose out of that stuff. Wha Talking about these promoters, I'm just curious. You've been around all of the most prolific wrestling promoters in the world at this point, and people tend to say that if a promoter's lips are moving, you know that he's lying to you. So I'm curious. When it came to guys like Inoki, Baba, and Vince, who did you personally like and trust the most?
Well, again, in Japan, I always wrestled for Giant Baba.
Hmm.
Okay. And I was always treated well. I mean, and then the other thing that had happened, I had, I can't remember. This was the time that I had heard something, and I really couldn't. Uh, I really couldn't continue.
This would have been 1993 when you suffered an injury while you were over there. Yeah.
Yeah, and needed to go. I had to go home, and it was early in the tour. I was on a 3-week tour, and I'd only been there, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. And when Baba came to pay me, he didn't pay me for 4 or 5 days. He paid me for 21 days.
Ah, good man.
And I was just beside myself. So anyway,
Incredible.
yeah.
Now, so I know that you had worked on and off for Baba for years, ever since you were a young man. I think it was like you would have started working for him. First time would have been like late 70s.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. The Funks were the Funk family, uh, primarily Dory Jr. and Terry, were booking All Japan. I mean, in other words, they were the guys going and saying to the American talent, "Would you like to go to Japan?"
Gotcha.
And so that's
So
how it started.
Now, Ted, this wrestling summit in Tokyo, 1990, it's going to mark the only time in your entire career that you worked on a show affiliated with New Japan Pro Wrestling and Antonio Inoki. Did you get to know Inoki at all over the years? Did you spend much time around him?
Nope. Never.
Never. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, Antonio Inoki was that was the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I mean, I met him, but I was never really around him or anything.